up, you guys? Welcome to the April 6th edition of NBA 3-Ball presented by Establish the Run. I'm your host, Mike Gallagher, getting ready to break down an early slate of games on Monday to make room for the NCAA title game. Not talking about that. Going to talk about some NBA news in 10 minutes. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe, please. Starting out with the Blazers. We've got some Nurk knee issues. He has inflammation. That's not great. Got ruled out a day before, so maybe multiple game stints. We know Nurk and his injury history. Certainly makes sense to keep him out for a game or two or three. We'll see what happens. Enes Kanter, obviously the main beneficiary here. See a little bit more Melo, a little bit more Derrick Jones Jr., who's probable, so we'll see him more. Robert Covington at the 5 will certainly help him out as well. But yeah, I mean, they're going to be all right. They have enough depth where they need it right now. And it's against the Clippers too, so they're going to probably almost want to go smaller at times to defend some of their stud guards and obviously wings and Kawhi. But yeah, Nurk, not great to see inflammation in his knee. To the Bulls, we've got good news and bad news. Daniel Theis is not with the team. He is not going to play on Tuesday, while we also had Kobe White back. And he's listed probable for that neck thing, which you already got over. So we'd assume he's pretty close to a full go here. So that'll cut into Satoransky just a little bit. That takes Troy Brown kind of off the board if you're looking to stream him or play him in DFS. But also we have Daniel Theis out. So yeah, it'll be a little bit more of Thad, a little more Lauri Markkanen, who's playing some 3. Pat Williams. Maybe we get Aminu more in the mix. I wouldn't be totally sure on that. We know they can kind of go smaller. They like Thad at the 5 a bunch. But expect those two to kind of be out there for a similar time. Let's hit the Grizzlies really quick. So we've got no Melton for leg soreness, not great. It is a back-to-back. And then Brandon Clarke, calf soreness. He's had this issue before. Probably not going to play, so they still don't have Jaren Jackson Jr. Crazy, you know. No Winslow. So the 10-man rotation, it may not be a 10-man. Maybe he goes 9. But we know the guards will be Ja, Tyus, Grayson, Bane. Brooks will probably be backed up by Sean McDermott, I would think, and then Killian Tilly and Xavier Tillman would kind of fill out the front court, but they may not even run out McDermott or Tilly or one of those guys and just run 9. But either way, we know the guard rotations are pretty safe, so Grayson and Bane should be looking at pretty good playing time here if you wanted to do a back-to-back streamer. Let's get to Monday's basketball action, starting with the Mavs. We got some bad news to start the evening with Kristaps Porzingis without a timetable to return. This is for a wrist sprain, so it's still bothering him. Carlisle said he's been kind of playing through it since like January, so that's like not great. I mean, this isn't like a no timetable. It may not be weeks. It may just be a game. It may be less than that. Who knows? But yeah, that's not great for Porzingis, who was already getting managed here. Again, this is kind of a newer thing that got a little aggravated. So that led to a really tight rotation. 8-man, no Boban. It was peanut butter melly time in the first unit, and we got Maxi Kleber as the 5-man against Gobert. Dorian Finney-Smith was awesome today. He's their best defensive player right now with how well he's been playing. Shut down Donovan Mitchell here. Obviously, all these guys are going to benefit. They're the starting unit. I think they're going to stick with that. Maybe, Boban here and there in certain spots. With the way they run pick and roll so much, this wasn't a great Boban spot here. Gary Trent Jr., game winner at the buzzer to beat the Wizards without Fred VanVleet, without Kyle Lowry. And Malachi Flynn came off the bench and was awesome. 16 points, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 6 boards. Like, oh my God, what a great game. So Fred VanVleet was, didn't really get ruled out to kind of closer to tip. Probably should be back for the next one maybe. But, I mean, this team is 20-30, going nowhere. Might as well get a look at Malachi Flynn. DeAndre Bembry was really good in the second half after disappearing. Somewhat surprising, Chris Boucher only got 20 minutes. Did produce, though, 3 blocks and 2 steals. It'll be kind of a headache. And Baines actually played great off the bench, so that kind of cut into him a little bit. Still no Bradley Beal. 5 games now with his hip contusion. Did not see him missing this much time. Rui Hachimura also without a timetable to return. Mentioned over the weekend that Scott Brooks said it could be 0 to 5 games. So, I mean, it sounds like it may be 5 games here. Shooting shoulder issue, not great. Hal Neto got the start. Also, Davis Bertans picked up a little bit more run, 24 minutes in the starting lineup. Probably 6th there. You want him overlapping with Westbrook as much as you can for floor spacing. So that makes sense. Garrison Matthews had a pretty good game, not into him too much. While Ish Smith saw 2-3 guard lineups. Mixed bag. Nothing really great there. Robin Lopez did have a quad issue. We'll see if he misses time. Obviously, if he does, Alex Len's kind of the last man standing. So he's kind of worth a speculative pickup. Nets get the win. Kyrie was awesome, 40 points, but bad news. James Harden, right hamstring tightness again. 4 minutes tapped out, fouled. It's not good. He's going to miss time here, you would think. You aggravate a hamstring injury like this at a player of his caliber and the miles on his tires, he's going to miss time. So it was Bruce Brown starting the second half. Kevin Durant's getting close, so I honestly wouldn't even really invest too much in him. We saw a little more Alize Johnson without Blake Griffin, but man, if you had James Harden in a fantasy matchup for your playoffs, it's not going to be easy to win this week. Knicks can't hold on to this one, and very little to say. Julius Randle triple-double was awesome as usual. Nerlens Noel still kind of hanging in that low to mid-20s range. Not the greatest matchup for him here. Mentioned in matchups that Taj Gibson was probably the better player. That turned out to be the case. It'll be pretty close to a split, but I think Nerlens still at 24 minutes. If you can get there consistently every night, that'll still be fine. Manuel quickly, he's pretty much a drop right now. Wolves get the win. D'Angelo Russell with, quote, very limited minutes, according to Chris Finch, hangs 25 points in 24 minutes. Hello. So yeah, D'Angelo bursting onto the scene. We know teams are doubling Cat. Cat wants to kick out a whole bunch, so we'll see D'Lo play on-off ball a whole bunch here. If you missed it, Malik Beasley basically out for the season with a grade 3 hammy issue, so 4 to 6 weeks, that's, basically drop him. So we saw some Jordan McLaughlin at the 2, depending on how you want to classify it, basically backing up Rubio. A lot of overlap. This team just really thin, so that's going to have to happen. So Rubio may have a little bit of life with the Beasley news. Obviously, Anthony Edwards is going to play a ton. Jaden McDaniels had foul trouble. Can't really worry about that too much. It's going to happen sometimes. So yeah, Cat's rolling. Great to see that. Maybe the Wolves will try to get some wins together here, but certainly has that shut down wrist with that left wrist issue. Great game from De'Aaron Fox, kind of as usual, 15 times to the stripe. Awesome stuff. Halliburton, a little disappointing. Did fill it up non-scoring, though, so he kind of got there if you used them. Rashawn Holmes, does what he does. Kings are pretty solid with their rotation with their backup guards in DeLon Wright and Terrence Davis. Davis did not play well, so he did not get that extended run which he was getting at times. Pistons drop 132 on the G League OKC Thunder. Just a lot of great output here. I thought Killian Hayes probably had his best game of the season. 4 steals, 2 blocks, 7 assists, really in control, heavy pick and roll stuff. Gotta feel good about him going forward. I don't feel great, but better than I thought a week ago when he was just kind of like a desperation stash. I think it could be more than that. Sekou Doumbouya played pretty well. This game was kind of a blowout, so Isaiah Stewart didn't get the full minutes. Got 4 blocks early in the first quarter. Josh Jackson was hot early too. Sadiq Bey's kind of been all over the place, but and also Hamidou Diallo, pretty solid game. But the headline to me was Killian Hayes getting 25 minutes. Played a little bit in the garbage time too, but he's going to get mid-20s minutes. We'll see if that could kind of ramp up here, which Casey said he's going to do. To OKC, they run their second unit out there a lot, so Tony Bradley cuts into Moses Brown a little bit. Don't read into it too much. Moses Brown played a little bit late too to kind of salvage his line. Injury here with Kenrich Williams was in foul trouble early. Sprained his ankle, didn't have a return. Game was out of hand. Didn't look bad to me, but we know the Thunder will sit guys out for any reason. So expect maybe Jalen Horde to start. Played okay. Obviously not going to look at him for fantasy, but we also got some Justin Robinson minutes already. This team's going to be messy with how their rotations are going to be just kind of over the place. Cavs get the win. Darius Garland, career high at 37. Is that including me? Just ripped him apart, got in the lane all night. They certainly missed DeJounte Murray. Talk about that in a second. Isaiah Hartenstein, great first half. Finishes with 16, 12, and 3 dimes. Been awesome. We'll see what happens with Larry Nance and or Jared Allen come back. They are still dealing with their issues. Hopefully they're back soon. DeJounte Murray had foot soreness, did not play. Not great, not back-to-back. Yikes, I don't know. Spurs are in trouble here. Really tough schedule. Hopefully it's just one game and he could be back to normal. Luka Šamanić got the start. Nothing really to say there. And Keldon Johnson kind of coming around a little bit after it looked like he was disappearing. Not much to say fantasy-wise with the Suns and Rockets besides they went big. They got Kelly Olynyk out there after Silas kind of hinted that he wasn't going to do that, so it sounds like that may stick. Still, I thought KJ Martin played great. Looks like he could be a possible pickup with consistent minutes. Kevin Porter Jr. is obviously really good. And Jayshawn Tate's rolling. But let's get to the ads. Pokuševski, obviously, he's rostered everywhere, 32%. Okay. I think Killian Hayes is the pickup of the day. I really like what I saw from him. They're going to need some consistency out of him. That's really going to be the priority to close. So, yeah, it was the G League Thunder. He could definitely burn you, so I wouldn't drop someone that's going to be really reliable. But I like his outlook compared to some of these other guys. Like Malachi Flynn probably would have started, but after the game, Nick Nurse said he didn't want to put him out there on Westbrook and or Beal. So Bembry, we know he's his main ball-contained guy, so that kind of makes sense. Brunson, kind of the big winner so far with this KP news, same with Dorian Finney-Smith, like Alex Len is a pickup, even though Robin Lopez's injury doesn't sound bad. Reggie Bullock is hot. Isaiah Hartenstein until we know for sure the Cavs bigs are coming back. Bruce Brown if you want to take advantage of the Harden injury, but Katie's coming back. Very low priority to me. Šamanić, Melly, and Bembry also some injury filling guys with really low upsides. So you guys take care. Catch you tomorrow.